Hello there guys, glad to see all of you watching another video of mine. Now, this is one of your Barca videos that's going to be done, but I've had to change up a bit. I had a plan, right, and I'm going to stick with that plan, but I've got an additional piece to add to this video. And I couldn't believe, it was about half an hour ago, I read the article of the interview that was done by the one and only. After 9 years, he's actually decided to open his fat mouth. Do you guys remember the referee of the Chelsea-Barcelona game in 2009 where it finished 1-1 and we were robbed? Ovrebo? He's opened his mouth. He done an interview with none other than the most reliable and best, let's say, outlet in Spain, Marca, pretty much like the Sun over here, where no one really pays much attention. But he actually did an interview with him, and how fitting it is to have an interview with them out of all media outlets available. He spoke 9 years after that game, where it was obvious and blatant, clear as crystal, that a sabotage was going on. He's opened his mouth and he has said of Ovrebo himself, I made mistakes. I'm not proud of them. I didn't have the best of nights. Just reading that interview made me angry. Just reading that interview, because it brings back all the emotion of that night. It's an unforgettable night. I can never forget the injustice that we had that night. I don't think we'll ever have an experience like that ever again. It was a crime. It was an absolute crime. A mistake. I'm going to address Ovrebo himself. This is a message to you, Mr. Ovrebo, referee of that game in 2009, 9 years ago. Instead to talk straight after the game you've waited 9 years, where everyone's pretty much forgotten about you and you're trying to hype yourself up just because Chelsea Barcelona are playing again. This is my message to you, sir. You are a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. Didier Drogba put it perfectly that night, saying that you were an absolute disgrace. How dare you come out 9 years later and say, I made mistakes. It wasn't the best of nights. Best of nights. Do you know what a mistake is? A mistake is not seeing an offside. A mistake is not witnessing a dive. When a player dives and you give a penalty and you think, yeah, that wasn't a dive, he got fouled, but he dived. That's a mistake. A mistake would be mistaking a tackle from the side, from the back, thinking that's a yellow, that's a red. No, I'm going to go over yellow. I'm going to keep him on the pitch. That's a mistake. A player getting clattered and you thinking that it's a dive and you go over and you book him for simulation. That's a mistake. Not a mistake isn't not giving 4 penalties, 4 blatant penalties where 2 of them were handballs. 2 of them, Gerard Piqué was unbelievable. He did this. He actually did that and went smash with his hand. He actually just went boom with his own hand in front of the whole stadium to see. 45,000 people, as well as millions watching at home, all saw the handball except you, because you are an absolute corrupt mug as far as I'm concerned. The other one with, who was it? Abidal raising his hand like that when Ballack shot it and it hit here, and that's not a handball. How dare you? Another one where Didier Drogba got his shirt pulled in the box and he went down. Was that a penalty? Of course it was a penalty. Did you give it? No. 4 challenges that day. Malouda got fouled in the box and you knew that was in the box. You decided to give a free kick. And you're going to come out 9 years later, 9 years later, and say, I didn't have the best night. I made a few mistakes. You are a disgrace. And we'll never forget that. We had to go and get justice our way. And justice our way was to go to Barcelona in 2012, win at the Bridge 1-0, courtesy of a Drogba goal, go all the way to the Nou Camp in 2012, go over there and get the job done. That was our way of getting justice and revenge for that night. Instead of having an actual referee to come and do his job, we blatantly knew that that day the referee was paid off. Paid off. You, Mr. Ovrebo, were paid off. And we knew that. We all know that. We all know that that night was the most corrupt night in the history of UEFA. And you should be in jail for what you've done. You should actually be jailed, as far as I'm concerned. Because that That level of corruption, that level of blatant bias towards one team is high up there with the Italian match fixing scandal, and people were jailed for that, so you should be in jail for that too. Just thinking about that makes me... Yes, we got our revenge in 2012, and we had to go and do it our way, with those players who were there that night, and they had to go out there and get the job done, right? That's why it meant so much. But even till now, just the fact that we had to go through that hurts. That night in 2009 was, I wanted to go into the TV. I was not lucky enough to be watching at home. If I was at the ground, I probably would have won on the pitch. I wanted to go in the TV and just grab this referee by the flipping neck and start punching him until when I have no energy left. That is what I wanted to do. It was an absolute disgrace. 9 years later, just before the Chelsea-Barcelona game, yeah, let me do an interview. Let me get some money, let me get paid a little bit, and let me give my evaluation of that night, because I know everyone's going to want to hear what I've got to say. Well, you know what? Get lost. You and your opinion, stuff it. Keep your opinion and stick it where the sun doesn't shine. Simple as that. We know what happened that night was corruption. Blatant corruption. But we did it our way. We went on and we looked at the situation and we got them in 2012 again, and we got the job done, and we did it in their place. We went to the new camp and done it in their own backyard. With 10 men and no captain. So stuff yourself, Mr. Ovrebo. Stuff yourself. And the death threats you received, unfortunately, I'm sad to say, it was deserved. Had you made a normal mistake a referee would have made? Nah, I'd be the first one to defend you and say, no, it doesn't get personal. But you made it personal that night with the blatant corruption that night. You know that you were involved in a scandal and you didn't say no and you went along with it. So you are responsible for any threat that came your way that night. Anyway, let's move on. We look forward. Can't believe he had an interview. We face Barcelona in 48 hours time. Right, and I'm already starting to get nervous. We look at the past encounters. The very first memorable one was 2005, where Jose Mourinho's Chelsea began to really get the ball rolling, and we had that front three of Drogba, Robben, and Duff. Good Johnson as well was along there, and at the Bridge, we beat them 4-2. That was one hell of a night. The goal with Ronaldinho, that was incredible. But that night, we really put ourselves on the map. That was the night where Chelsea made the statement saying, we're amongst the big boys now. We're here. And that was the first game where that statement was made. Since Roman bought the club, Mourinho came in as the new manager, and everything was good. Everything was wonderful. It was that night where Chelsea made the statement and went, we're here. Beat Barcelona 4-2. That was one hell of a night. I can't forget that as well. That was, the emotion was real. That was, the beginning of something special. And that team went on to do magnificent things. Later on, 2006, we got eliminated by Barcelona, unfortunately. It was that year where we were plagued with injuries. We didn't get the job done at home. We lost 2-1, and then we had to go to the new camp and try and get it done there, and we only managed to draw 1-1. Still a fantastic result, but we had to try the near enough impossible, and we just missed out. One more goal would have taken it to extra time, but that was a game where we knew we had it hard, and we got eliminated. We dealt with it. We moved on. One afterwards was the one that we've been talking about, 2009, and I'm not even gonna speak about that anymore. I've said enough. This video regarding that fixture, absolute disgrace. What a mug. Anyway, and then 2012, where we knew it was war. This is when Chelsea-Barcelona became war. It was no longer a football match. Before that, it was a football match. It was a pleasant football match to play against a team like Barcelona, the best team on earth. Brilliant occasion. Prove what we've got, but it was purely sporting. Look at the relationship we had in 2005 with Barcelona that year, especially with the players on the pitch, Ronaldinho, all the respect. When Ronaldinho scored that goal, Chelsea fans were clapping because it was that good. There was a lot of respect there. 2012, it was a war. It was, we have to win this. If we're going to die on the pitch, we're going to die on the pitch. Those players were ready to die on that pitch and leave everything to get that win. 1-0 at Stamford Bridge, where DJ Drogba got that goal. I remember we had to, and it was after a first half of the season that was dreadful under AVB. Di Matteo switched it around. We were very good defensively, and we were just relying on the counter. And I remember DJ Drogba getting that goal. The ball came across and he hit it low, 1-0, and we just defended that night. We just took the lead into the second leg, and we thought, you know what, let's just take a 1-0 and we'll sort it out over there. And that night at the Nou Camp is, without a doubt, aside from the Champions League final, the best match I've ever witnessed as a Chelsea supporter. It was just magical, absolutely magical. Not just me, we all went through every single possible emotion that night. I remember when I was watching, I was at uni and we were watching on the big screen, Chelsea fans everywhere. We went from hope to absolute desperation to grief. We were heartbroken. JT got sent off, and rightfully so, because I forgot who he needed in the back, but he needed him. I don't know why JT did that night. I wanted to smack him. And then after that, I just thought we're going to lose this. Iniesta scored and then made it 2-0. That was it. At that point, I thought, we're out. 10 men, no captain. They're 2-0 up. We have to score a goal now. We're stuffed. We're all on the brink of giving up. And then Lamps to Ramirez. What a ball. I still remember that pass. I don't know how that crossed Lampard's head to chip it over. What a cross. And then Ramirez. I don't know how he got the thought of what he did either. He just dinked it over Valdez. He had all the options available to him because he was one-on-one. He could have slotted it bottom left corner. He could have slotted it bottom right. He could have tried and hit it up. He could have put it through Valdez's legs. No. Let me go for the hardest option going. Let me go for the most difficult option going. Let me try and put it over him and take the piss. And guess what? He put it over him. And he missed Valdez's hand by an inch. It was perfect. Dinked it in. That was the away goal we needed. The grief and the desperation turned into hope, and it turned into, we're going to do this. And then Torres, Ashley Cole boots that ball up the pitch. Torres is in on goal because he's not offside. He was behind the halfway line. He went with it, 1-on-1. I remember that emotion. I remember it got kicked up, and I was watching. All of us were watching. Torres got the ball, and I was just waiting because the screen wasn't showing enough. I didn't know Torres was the last man. I was expecting like 2 defenders to show up, and I'm just looking, waiting, and there's no one. And he's running and running and running. I'm gone. He's in on goal. He's in on freaking goal. He gets to Valdez, does him, goes round, 50 million repaid. Magical goal, absolutely magical. And that was the last time we played Barcelona. And I know psychologically, Barcelona are aware. They're aware that we can cause trouble to them. But the uncertainty that lies now is we have a completely different team. This isn't the team that won in 2012. This team has never played against Barcelona, ever. The only players that have played against Barcelona would be Gary Cahill and David Luiz. Those are the only 2 in that squad who were there that night. The rest weren't. They don't know what to expect from Barcelona. They're just going to have to go out there and just do their best. And that's where it leaves me in a complete uncertain area. I don't know whether we're going to show up and actually cause them trouble. I don't know whether we're going to get annihilated. I don't know whether we're going to have a little 50-50. I have no idea what's going to happen. This is the first preview. Well, this isn't the preview. I'm going to do the preview tomorrow. But this is the first game, I think, where I'm just baffled. Baffled. You ask me what we're going to do against United City, I can tell you. This, I have no idea. And Barcelona are a different Barca team as well. Yes, they have many players that were there that night as well. But now they're more defensively set up. Valverde has a back 4 that are very reliable. He has, Barcelona were a team that was just attacking all the time. And their defence were a little bit open, but they didn't really have to rely on it because their attacking power was just so strong. Now, they've actually got a structure in defence and they play from the back. It's really weird to see. They've got a good balance and I don't know what that's going to do against us. I don't know. Many teams that we struggled against this season were teams that came to us with a back 3. Barca do not play a back 3. They always have a back 4. If they're going to show up with a back 4, that might help us. If they're going to play with a back 3, they've never done it. I don't know what to expect. I really don't know what to expect. But history is on our side, so at least we can take that into the game. I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing for this game. I'm already nervous. I've already got butterflies. There's still 2 days to go, and I'm nervous. I'll probably just 10 minutes before kickoff, I might faint. I might have a heart attack. But honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. Let me know what you guys think. Tomorrow, I am going to be doing a preview along with Louis, 100% Chelsea, Nini FC, Blue Lions TV, and Conte Tweets. The channel is Worldwide Chelsea. We are going to be on there doing a preview, all 3 of us, and then plus Conte Tweets. At Conte Tweets is the Twitter account, the person who's doing it. It's going to be us. I believe one more person. I think there's 5 of us in total. We're going to be previewing the game, and I'm going to do my own preview on here for you guys tomorrow as well, because it's the day before. So yeah, I'm really cacking it. I'm excited. I'm scared. I'm hopeful. I'm ready for war. I'm fearful that we might get destroyed. I'm optimistic. I'm pessimistic. I've got all this emotion wrapped into one right now. I'm baffled. Honestly, baffled. I'm absolutely baffled. I'm like a woman in the middle of a pregnancy where hormones are going left, right, and centre, and she doesn't know what to say or think. That's what I'm like right now. Honestly. But yeah, honestly, I'll see all of you tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope Mr. Ovrebo doesn't open his mouth ever again. Simple as that, because he doesn't deserve to. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Check out my social media links in the description. I'll see all of you tomorrow for the preview. Up to Chelsea. Let's have some faith. Let's have some faith. Even if we go down, but we go down swinging. If not, we're going to beat them. Let's do it. Come on. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Take care, and peace.